Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari. You're here, doctor. And as you can see, I'm not in my studio. Let me see if I can lift this up a little bit and get some here so we can be up a little higher. Yeah, I think I like that. Perfect. Okay, guys, welcome to the show. I'm excited about today's show because we're going to talk a lot about hair shrinkage, a blow dryer, because that's a really big deal for a lot of folks, hair steaming. And then I'm just going to open up my chat room just to see if you guys have something for me today. So come on and join in and let's get started. Okay, all right. So first, before I do any of that, I always want to take my hair down and do a little bitty something, but I'm gonna do that being pretty simple today because I really want to get right on this topic while you guys are loading in. Welcome to the show. And this, I'm gonna do that sound out. Oh, sorry. Let's take out the sound that way. Oopsie. We can go back. So while you guys are loading on, here we go. Okay, so we got you loading up. I miss you guys. It's been wonderful. I had some laryngitis with my voice, so I've just been like missing in action. But if you're looking at this in archive, you didn't even know I was going, right? Okay, well, like I said, I'm not in my regular studio today. I'm in the WDI iHeartRadio studio, and I'm waiting to go online for an interview with Bev Johnson. But I want to start with taking my hair down. But we're going to talk about blow drying and shrinkage. Is that the best way, the safest way to do it? We're also going to talk about steaming. Wow, steaming our hair. What is it? What's up with the steaming? It's something that we really should do. And then I'm gonna take your calls. Let's get started. Let's take my hair down. And today I'm just gonna do, I don't know, it won't be quite a shrunken fro, but I'm gonna do an afro puff. And I'm gonna use my little nylon, and I always like to use the one with the air holes in it. And it's just a nylon fabric. It's very hair friendly. So I'm gonna put that on. Oopsie doopsie. And I'm gonna put my fro up here. And see, it's all sticking up there, but I'm going to kind of mold it in place. Yeah. Years ago, they used to do something called patting your fro in place. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it kind of a shrunken fro. And I do this every week for those of you who are always tuning in. You know that I do this just so you can see how not only versatile our hair is, but how easy it is to work with. So I'm just going to pat it because my hair it's pretty long now. So I'm just going to pat it in place till I can get what may look like a little shrunken, well, I guess a large afro puff on the top of my head. And there you go. So we're going to spend more time on the show than on my hair today. So you see how easy that was. And you know what I start out with? I generally start out with my hair twisted at night, about 6 to 8 twists. And I always hydrate it with my hair vitamins. And then I twist it and tuck it. And then in the morning, I basically take it down and pull it back in one of the scrunchies. And there it is. And now today I decided to just keep it simple and do this shrunken. Okay, let's talk. I'm not going to do any celebrity hair today. Of course, you know I love popping my collar. But I am, however, going to do a little bit of, I'm going to do some things that have really been talked about a lot, like blow drying. I mean, blow drying is a pretty big deal. And so many people really, they don't understand whether or not blow drying is something that could harm their hair It's a tool we use for various things. And what is it about blow drying and just heat in general? When we think about heat, we've got to think about number one, when it touches our hair, and blow drying is under the umbrella of heat. So if we have heat, if we're using heat on our hair, then what happens on contact is what you have to watch for. Some patients do, and they'll say, well, um, image on their strand, and they'll say, well, I don't use it every 8 weeks when I trim my ends. My stylist will blow dry my hair and trim my ends. Seems simple, seems harmless, seems no harm at all, right? Well, it's not how often you use heat, it's what happens on contact. Strand will literally fall apart if it's overexposed to heat, chemicals, dry environments. If it's underexposed to, which is getting the deep conditioning with protein and moisture, so your moisture levels start to plummet or your protein levels plummet. So your hair literally falls apart. Where heat is one of those things that can cause a problem. So whether you're blow drying your hair or whether you're using a flat iron or pressing comb or whatever, your hair strand is overexposed to that heat, then it's going, so it's blow drying. I think I need to set it up with you understanding what the heat could do, what problems it could cause. Okay, with that being said, now you're dealing with a situation where, and I don't know who is behind me, what posters, they've got all kinds of stuff going on in this room, but I'm just borrowing this room to my show. I don't have my regular backdrop. I might need to turn that way where they just have albums. Matter of fact, I think I might do that, guys. I'm going to turn around and let you guys see all these old albums, and I think I'm going to turn that way. Yeah, because I don't know about what. Yeah, those are little albums. Okay, something making a lot of noise here. That's what happened when you own live. Okay, let's see if I can get this. Yay. And I'll get over here because, oh, guys, all of that business. I don't even know who those folks are. The big picture revolution. All of that was going on behind me. That was a lot. Okay, and then I think I even have more light, which I love, absolutely love. And these are just this is one of the studios that they're just kind of decorating here. Okay, so everybody's here and everybody's ready. Okay, here I go. So it's just a lot going on in this studio. All right, so I'm back. And now, so when we think about heat damage or heated tools, and I won't just say heat damage because actually you can use heated tools without damaging your hair. It's crucial to you don't have to damage your hair, or your hair does not have to become damaged because you're using heated tools. All right. Now, how does it become a problem? If you're blow drying your hair, there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. If you're going to use a blow dryer, now whether you're using it to get rid of shrinkage, and I'll talk about whether I think that's the best option to help with shrinkage or not, because I got some things with my hair I'm going to show you. All right, so with a blow dryer, if you're going to use it, then you have to keep in mind that you do not want to dry your hair from wet to dry. You always want to put a leave-in conditioner on first. Once you put that leave-in conditioner on, then you're ready to allow that leave-in conditioner to just dry for a few minutes into the hair. What you're basically doing is you're making sure, now you want to remove the excess water first before you put your leave-in conditioner. The one, of course, I would recommend is my hair vitamin. And then you can also use a moisturizer too. My Moisture Plus moisturizer and my hair vitamin. Hair vitamin first, Moisture Plus moisturizer. If you have a leave-in conditioner that you love and that works well for you, then use it. If not, go to my website and you can purchase my hair vitamin and my Moisture Plus. Now, once you put that throughout the hair, then you allow the hair to to kind of dry into the hair. And what you're basically doing is letting that cuticle layer, when you put the product on, moisturize the hair vitamins and then the moisturizer, when you put that product on, you're basically allowing that to go into the cuticle, and it'll cause the cuticle to close down on top of that product. So now the hair is beginning to air dry just a little bit. So now what you're really protecting are the first bonds. When your hair is wet, your hair has what we call hydrogen bonds. Those are just weak bonds that actually can cause a problem. Your hair is weaker when it's wet. You can tear easily. They can be broken easily, those bonds. And it's really, really important not to go from wet to dry, pulling or detangling or blow drying the hair, because it really will cause those bonds to be weaker, which causes more problems with cuticle and damage. All right. So you put your leave-in conditioner on, Hair Vitamins and Moisture Plus, and then you let it sit. How long would you let it sit? I would highly recommend you let it sit anywhere, which sounds crazy, it depends on your texture, but anywhere from 60 seconds to 10 minutes. With fine hair, in about 60 seconds, it's done what it needs to do. And with it may take 10 minutes. All right. Once you've done that, then you're ready to blow dry. The first thing you want to do is fan dry the hair. And if you fan dry the hair, what that's direct heat. Right? And then at that point, a comb or a comb would be better. And you want to make sure through while letting some of the heat work with the hair. Now, what do I mean? You do not want to, you just want to comb to groom. Remember, you want to make sure your leave-in products have completely allowed your tangles to be removed. And maybe I need to roll back just a little bit. The first step, moisture. Once you put the vitamin moisture on, you go through with your fingers and thumb to make sure you have even distribution product placement. You slide your fingers through your hair to make sure that you don't have any tangles. Then once you do that, you fan dry the hair. And if your hair is longer, you can put it in 4 plaits. If it's shorter, you don't have to do that. It's just section for control. Then you're ready to, at that point, you're ready to put your, at that point, you're ready to start using your blow dryer with your comb attachment. Now keep in mind, if you're going to comb through the hair and have the blow dryer behind it, because you're going to comb, blow dryer behind it, if you're going to do that, then you don't want tangles. So you're not using detangling with the blow dryer, because that's going to cause microscopic tears on the hair shaft and cause poor elasticity, and the hair will break. Okay. Number 2, if you're going to use a brush, then you have to use something called a Denman brush, a brush that it's hard plastic with wide teeth apart, and it's very solid, and it doesn't snag the hair. So you don't detangle with that. You can brush and heat behind it, and it stretches out the hair. Now that's risque because get temperature higher than your strain can tolerate. The problem, and it's very gauge the heat on blow dryers than it is even on flat irons. So because you've got this hot air blowing into your strand. So if you use air 8 degrees, you're on. And if you have medium hair, and then you can do up to 300 or more. And if you have coarse hair, you can do up to 400 more, no more than that. When I say a little more, 300, like 325, 350. When I say with coarse hair, 400, maximum 425. And I never would say take your hair strand that high in heat. But there are women with coarse strands, and you got to know we're not talking about multiple textured hair. Texture deals with your size. We're talking about women with a thick strand, and that's rare. And so, many women who have naturally coarse hair that come into my clinic, those women have also had texture changes. So these women are now having texture because they now have had coarse hair initially, and because of damage, because of things that they wear away at their cuticle, they've got a texture change. So now their strand is smaller than it is growing out from the scalp. Fine, guys, there's just a lot of variables here, so you got to keep that in mind. You got to pay attention. Know your texture is to get in front of a mirror, hold your strand up, and look at the size at the scalp, and look at it as you go out toward the ends, and you'll see your texture change. If it's the same size at the hair emerging from the scalp as it is at the ends, then you're good. All right, remember that. All right, so do we use blow dry for shrinkage? It's no more shrinkage. How do we do that? If we use a blow dryer to stop shrinkage, are we safe? That's the question. Is that the best way to get rid of shrinkage? I would have to say no, because there's so many risks. If you follow the steps that I said, you can quickly stretch out your hair. But as you can see my hair was in a scrunchie. My hair is completely stretched out. Well, I'll say completely. I could stretch it out even more, but because I had my hair pulled back and I have moisturizers on it, it's now a large fro. Let's get in really close. I have a large fro. Now, the only way you're going to have that is by putting your vitamin and moisture on the hair close to the scalp, looking my hair through, on the hair close to the scalp. You're sliding it out on the ends, and you're putting it in a scrunchie. I like to use the larger ones. And let me get over here so you can really see my hair behind those little album covers. There you go. And you can see that now I have the larger fro. The blow dryer, you would take the blow dryer, stretch and pull, and you may end up pulling and tearing the hair. So is that the safest way? Then I would have to say no. The blow dryer is not the. I've shown you how to do and get your hair to stretch out with the fro. I have a link on my YouTube. You have a video on how to stretch out your fro. See, this is what I do. I put the scrunchie on after I've got all the products on, and you can put your makeup on, you can finish your day, and then you can stretch your hair out. The blow dryer is risque, so I would have to say thumbs down, stretching your fro with the blow dryer, and thumbs up, stretching your fro with moisturizers and a scrunchie. And so let's get that link up for you guys as well. So let's take a look at my chat room. Okay, excited about the chat today. Great. Blondie, do you have any questions for me? Let me know. And Sylvia says, glad you're back. I have been missing in action a little bit. You can see my voice is still a little weird right now. So I want to get some feedback. I want to get some questions about this. Also, let's take a look at my email box before we go on to talk about steaming, because steaming here is really, really, really important. Let's see if we got something in here. Someone said that they've been following me for years, and they said, great. Thank you. Great work, sis. Thank you. And it says, somebody sent me, I've learned a lot, and sent me hugs. And it says, what hair, okay, here's a question. What hair type are you I think my texture is matching yours perfectly, but I'm not sure. This one may be a little bit older. I may have done this one, but I'll answer it again. She wanted to know my hair type. I think my texture is matching yours perfectly, but I'm not sure how to tell by type. She said it took. I was wondering if you're 3C, 3B, or I was wondering what your hair type. See, this is where it gets confusing for a lot of you, and this is why I don't do the 3C and the A and all of that stuff. And the reason I don't do that is because what happens with a lot of folks, they will get confused and wonder, oh, am I C or am I that up into three parts? And let me explain to you what I mean. Texture, hair texture, I relate it to the size of your strand. You either have, and the three different textures of hair would be fine, medium, and coarse. So you either have small strands, average size strands, or coarse strands. You have to couple that with a type of hair. So you know the size your strand is, then the type of hair. With the type of hair, you can have slight degree of kinkiness, or you could actually have, with the type of hair, you could have straight hair or kinky hair. And if you have kinky hair, you can have slight degree, you can have medium degree of kinkiness, or extreme or spiral degree of kinkiness. And that's how I break it up, guys, is keep it simple, straight to the point, easy peasy. My patients respond very well to that. I've been in the industry a long time. I found that a lot of my patients and clients and customers, people who purchase my products, people who come into my institute for me to help them with chronic situations, or even individuals who come into some of my salons, I pay because it's easy for them to understand with no worries, no problems. So that's how I do it. What texture? I have a average size strand, so I have a medium strand. I don't have fine hair, and I do not have coarse hair. I have medium. The degree of kinkiness of my hair, so that's my texture. My type of hair is medium. So I have medium degree of kinkiness. I have medium size strand. So I don't have slight kinky. I don't have straight hair. I don't have extreme kinky. I have medium. And some will say, well, it just makes it easier for you to do well with your hair because you have hair. Let me tell you guys, and you've heard me say this before, any hair that shows up for the day, that's good hair. Good hair. All hair is good. It's about knowing how to manage your hair. And that's just the bottom line. I'm going to see if I can go in here and find some, let's see, find one of my videos on Shrinkage. I'm going to give you a video. It's hard for me to multi-comb fro. Do fro stretching. I'll look it up and then I'm going to find it. So I've got all kinds of videos. Now this one is a part 1 and a part 2. So I'm going to put the link to both of them. Part 1, and let's make sure the audio is off on that one. Here we go. So I'm going to put that link up there. And that way you guys will have it, because I think it's crucial for you to understand these things. Okay. There we go. Hopefully we will not lose. Hold on. I see a question from Sylvia. Hold on, Sylvia. I'm going to get to your question. I just want to get this link up there on stretching your fro. We're going to do a part 1 and a part 2. Okie dokie. Okay. You know, guys, it's hard for me to do a lot of multitasking. I want to get it right. Okay. Hold on. I see some more questions coming in. So hold on, guys. Okay, so we got part 1 up. And then I want to get part 2 in. Let's get part 2. And before you guys get, and then we're going to get part 2 in. I got that on. Part 2. And this is pretty cool because not only do I show you the shrinkage, how to get rid of that shrinkage, because that's huge for a lot of folks with natural hair. That's like, I love my hair, but it shrinks. I just can't stand the shrinkage. So I'm going to help you out with that. Let's get that one in. And then let's get the link to part 2, because I show some styles too. And coming up, and I'm going to date this video by saying this. Oops, but coming up to the holidays, and you see my voice is still, oof, it's a little bit weird. I'm sorry, guys. Coming up to the holidays, this is going to be pretty cool on how to really work with your hair and all these things, because I use like certain headbands. I have a lot of fun with my hair, and I really love having fun with it during the holidays. So here we go. Now there's part 2. So now you have part 1, how to pull back, stretch your fro. Okay, natural kinky hair without breaking it. And then you have part 2, how to pull your fro and stretch it without breaking. So you're going to have a lot of fun with that. I really need some feedback on that one. Now let's get to our questions. Sylvia said you talked about using the blow dryer and brush. What about the tension method with the blow dryer for stretching? No comb, no brush, using a small section at a time. Now, tension method, holding the, okay, I wanted to hear what she had to say about that. Holding the end with some tension while blow drying it with medium low heat. Absolutely. Anytime you can use your hand, because if I was going to stretch out my fro and make it stand up, I would stretch my fro out and hold it. Start at the base. Make sure you have your vitamin and your moisture on. Start at the base, and then that is going to allow you to go down the strand with the heat and not have to run the risk of tearing the hair. Sylvia, that's an outstanding ideal, but the same, I'm saying to do the same thing with your comb and brush. You're going to take it and you're going to hold the hair in that spot. When you put the heat there, it allows the brush or comb to move. Now we're talking about a Denman brush. So if my hair was pulled back, let's see, I pulled back, but let's just take a section of my hair. And I really wish I had the blow dryer here. A section of my hair. This would be the blow dryer, or this would be the comb or the brush. So I would have my blow dryer here in this right hand, and I would hold it, and you see how my fingers are moving as the hair is released and stretched. My hair, my comb or my brush is being able to move. And then you take it, and you don't use the comb attachment through the ends because you want to keep the curl pattern. Okay, so yes, absolutely, Sylvia, that is definitely the better way to do it. Let's get my hair back in my scrunchie. As you can see, since it's stretched out, I'm going to do that pat down through. I'm going to get back over here where I can see. This is my little mirror. So that was a great question and a great comment, Sylvia, because absolutely what you're doing with your fingers is the same as you would do. Let's get so much stuff in here. It's the same that you would do with your Here we go. Well, maybe I could make a whimsical fro. You know, one that just kind of sticks up and spikes out. Or I can pat it down like they used to do years ago. And then make my big afro puff. There we go. And there it is. Okay. Okay. So hopefully that helped. Now, if we have any more questions about blow drying, I'm happy to answer them. I just want to say the kind of damage that can happen with blow drying, overexposure. If you blow dry your hair from wet to dry, the internal portion of your strand literally boils. I mean, it's called something called bubble hair. If you look that up, you'll see that term basically means that the cortical fibers have become enlarged and you've got this really weak spot in your strand. So the cuticle layers are just stretched. And if you continue to blow dry from wet to dry, then you'll have problems with your hair eventually breaking. So that you do not want to create bubble hair, and you don't want, because that creates weak spots. So blow drying again can be risky, but what I try to do is find a way to allow you to have the types of things that you enjoy doing with your hair, using the tools you like to use with your hair without causing any kinds of problems. And again, hair is something that can happen. Some will say that it can happen with flat irons, but it really happens more when the hair goes from wet to dry with a heated tool. And so then you've got a real issue with bubble hair. The hair dries, it's overheated, then the hair just begins to the cortical fibers is literally boiling on the inside, swell, and then you have a weak point. So remember that. Okay, guys, super duper. Now let's go to hair steam. Hair steam, I want to make sure we don't have any more questions. People want to know how to steam. If they steam their hair, is it something really important? Is it something that's beneficial? Not beneficial, then we want to know that as well. What are the dangers? Okay, so it's amazing how it looks on when I'm on the chat. There we go. Get it right. Okay, all right. As you guys can see, I'm a little slow. I almost didn't do the show today because I'm still off, but I'm like, I missed them and I know they miss me too. So here it is. I'm here. So if my voice seems a little low, because I don't want to start coughing, and if that's because I'm just not all here. All right, so alrighty, guys. All right, so let's talk about hair steaming. What is hair steaming? It's been something that's gotten really popular. I need to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and I'm going to do that. And maybe I'll do it as sideways thumbs, because, you know, are there any positive things? Are there better ways or what? Okay, so here we go. Hair steaming is, let's talk about what it is first and why is it done. Have the hair steaming is to go deeper into the hair shaft. So now you have hair steaming and you say, okay, well, this is a way for me to get a good deep conditioning. So okay, let me get this. Let's see. There's dryers that you can purchase in your hair. There's these personal desktop dryers. People recommend it for relaxed hair. They recommend it for natural hair. And they say it helps to get the hair soft. There's just so much to be said about hair steaming because it's such a tricky thing. And what I mean by that is, let's just go down the list. Hair steaming is supposed to get your hair softer and give you more body. It's supposed to get your hair conditioners deeper into your hair. Well, let's go down the list. First, you look at hair steaming and what it actually does. It opens up your pores of your hair, and because the hair is an appendage of the scalp, it'll open the pores of the scalp. The steam, the hair is being exposed to heat and steam. So your pores in hair of the hair and scalp is open. What will that do? That'll help to detox your hair. A lot of buildup in the hair, your hair is going to be softer because you've broken up and broken down a lot of that buildup that's sitting on your hair shaft. Now, the other piece it will do is it'll cause you to sweat. So that's the negative. The positive, it detox, it opens up your hair, it helps to break up and break down buildup. The negative is you sweat. What happens when you sweat? You're dumping waste and salt on the hair shaft and on the scalp because the body has to regulate its temperature by sweating. It also dumps waste and salt. So now here you have a situation. You're putting conditioner on because you're putting the conditioner on because you want to steam. You want your conditioner to go deeper into your hair. Well, here you go. You put the conditioner on. The positive is your hair shaft is open because the steam opened your hair shaft. You put the conditioner on, then your hair conditioner will go in deeper because the hair shaft is open. The negative is you put the conditioner on, top of hair where pores are open, buildup is in there. So now you got the buildup trying to get out, salt dumping on the hair, and you're putting conditioner on top of it. Will you feel a difference in your hair? Absolutely. Long term, well, no. Because what it's doing is open up pores, locking things into the hair shaft. If you're not doing a deep conditioner, deep clean, if you're not doing that clarifying of the hair prior to, then you're going to have a problem. And even if you clarify your hair, whenever you steam it, you're still dumping waste and salt. We do something called vapor in one of my alopecia treatments, which is they don't really sweat. It's just a vapor that's warm. So because it is warm, I run the risk of some patients sweating. So I actually literally vacuum out their follicle or right around the epidermis once I've done that vapor because I know that pore could have opened and dumped waste and salt. My goal with the vapor is to allow the pore to open because we want to see if there's a hair in that follicle. So it's all a big part of what I call alopecia treatments. But when it comes to conditioning your hair strand, it is just not a good option. So because there's some benefits to it, I'm going to have to give it a thumb sideways. I would like to do a thumb down, but I don't believe hair steaming is the best. What is the best way to condition your hair? And let me just tell you, you may be able to, the reason I give it like a thumb sideways, because you may be able to use this, but what happens, you can use it, but you have to keep your body cool. So you have to drink cold water so you don't sweat. But it's still risque because your scalp could still sweat because it's steam. And anytime there's steam, there is a possibility of you sweating. Okay, let me just say this. The best way to condition your hair is under a warm dryer on medium setting. You want to use protein and moisture because you got to have the balance. What is the balance? There's a delicate protein and moisture level that must stay balanced within your hair shaft. Your hair needs protein for strength. And don't worry, you're not protein sensitive. If you're not breaking out in a rash, you're not protein sensitive. You need protein. You need protein for strength, but you must have moisture for balance. People get in trouble with protein conditioners because they only do protein. You need to have, and you don't want to play chemist, you need to get a conditioner that has protein and moisture within that conditioner. And my conditioner, deep penetrating protein moisture and stabilizing conditioner, is on my website, lisaakbari.com. You're welcome to get that conditioner if you like. If you have a good deep penetrating protein moisture and stabilizing conditioner, then you are good. I don't believe in trying to fix something that's not broken. Okay, remember that, guys. And this is just crucial. So you're under the dryer on medium setting, and you are now at this point, you are deep conditioning your hair. You're going to get optimum penetration because there's only a maximum amount of penetration that conditioner is going to do. What are our goals when we're hair steaming? Our goal is to get deep conditioning so that we can get the benefits of softer hair, healthier, stronger hair. Well, you're not going to get the true benefits of deep conditioning if you're dumping waste and salt back on the scalp. So you don't want to get too hot under your dryer. So that's why I say 60 degrees. And the way you know that is on medium setting. Your temperatures, most of the dryers don't say 60 degrees. You want a tabletop dryer. You want a dryer that you can do cool, medium, high, and you want it on medium. And that's going to give you optimum penetration. You want a deep penetrating conditioner because the deep penetrating conditioners have a smaller weight, a molecular weight, that allows it to go deep into the hair. Now, where are we going? You have a cuticle that is going to have repair, prevention of damage if you deep penetrate with your conditioner. If you have damaged hair where your cortical fibers are exposed, that means your strength bonds are exposed, your hair elasticity, you have a problem with it, the hair is dry, that tells you that deep conditioner is going to not only go into the cuticle, it's going to go into part of the cortex. Normally it wouldn't be able to, but because the cortical fibers are probably exposed, if your hair is breaking, then you can go in there and do some repair work. What's happening? The cortical fibers are going to become tight and bonded together because your cuticle layers, or maybe sitting up initially, are actually going to become more compact, and that's what you want. So you're going to increase elasticity by raising your protein strength levels up and your moisture hydrating levels up. Very crucial, very, very important. So if you guys are just tuning in for the very, very first time, welcome to the show. Make sure you remember to subscribe to my YouTube page, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. I do more on YouTube than anything. I promise this next year I'm going to do a lot better with social media because that's where you guys are. I mean, I have a clinic that I run and it's super, super busy. I have salons, they have hair product. And, I just want to just do some things that are going to give you give you education, give you what you need, but I need to find the best way to reach you guys. I want to talk a little bit about something that is not listed on my actual show today, and I'm going to add it under the topics. There are some different sites that talk about different things that you can do to the hair to add volume. They have like different tips. There's an article in one of the magazines on some research I was doing, and they're talking about 15 tips on adding volume and thickness to fine hair. Now keep in mind, when you speak about adding volume and thickness to the hair, and let's check and see if before we go into that, let's see if I have any questions on my in my chat room. Okay, let's see. Do we have any? No questions right now. So when you think about any questions on shrinkage and blow dryers or any questions on hair steaming, please let me know, guys. And you know that I have a different take on everything, but I'm a trichologist and I view the hair and scalp microscopically. Um, and I look at things differently. I really do not look at it from just a style point of view. But what's cool about it is I am able to address it from a style point of view, but I'm also able to address it from a college's point of view, which means I'm going to look at it very different. So when we speak about adding volume to the hair, are we going to really add volume? Is it cosmetic? Is it a cosmetic way? Or what are we really doing here? So they talked about a lot of things. And it gets a little confusing because some people say, well, get a checkup and let's eat greens, massage your scalp. Then they say, pay attention to the dry weather, boost volume if you're cleaning your hair better, and when you're drying your hair. And it just has all kinds of little things, and we're going to kind of go down to those things. But let's talk about where we're trying to get the volume. Now, you have two things that can make your hair look thin. You could have the actual strand itself having what we call a texture change. Now, texture, as I said before, deals with the size of your strand. If you have a texture change, that means that your strand that was once large is now small. So now you have a strand that was coarse or medium, now it's fine. Or you have a strand that was fine that's now thin, so which is unnatural. So it's very challenging to get volume to your strand. All right, so are we talking about a texture change? Hair is growing out from my scalp, thicker. As I get toward the ends, it's thin. So you have to check the hair close to the scalp to see. Or are we speaking of, I once had coarse hair. Now the hair that's growing from my scalp is thin. It's fine. It's thinner than it was. It went from coarse to medium, or from medium to fine, or from fine to thin, as it emerges from my scalp. If it's doing that, then now you're in a situation where you now have a unnatural texture change. You have a malfunctioning follicle. If it's external, that means that if you have a large strand at the scalp emerging and a thinner strand on the ends, that means that strand has lost its volume through damage. If it's a small strand that's emerging from your scalp, but it used to be a thick strand emerging from your scalp, that means you have a malfunctioning follicle. You should have a microscopic and physical examination by a trichologist to determine this. But if you get in the mirror, you can take a look and find that yourself by viewing the strand on the scalp, holding it up, seeing if it's one size here and it gets thinner as it goes toward the end. That's external. If it's thin at the scalp and it's thinner toward the ends, then that's a unnatural texture change and a functioning follicle. All of it's unnatural, but that's a malfunctioning follicle. The other thing you want to look at, if you find that it's thin emerging from the scalp and it used to be thicker, then check your density. Part down your hair down the middle to see if you now see some balding spots, some inconsistency in the density. So the hairs per square inch appear to be decreasing in numbers. If that's the case, then you may be experiencing some internal follicular issues or blockages around your follicle. And at that point, you definitely need to see a trichologist, someone who can use microscopic and offer a microscopic and physical examination of your hair and scalp, so that you have the opportunity to determine what's really going on with my hair and scalp. Guys, I see so many new folks tuning in. Thank you so much. I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari. You're here, doctor. And for the next, I've got a few more minutes. So if you have a question for me, please chat away. I can answer your questions. And welcome to the show. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page because that allows you an opportunity to get an alert every time I do a new video. I put some links up on how to stretch your fro without breaking the hair, how to create new styles. I put some other links, but I'm also going to put my website up there because you can go on my website and you can just kind of look around. My YouTube page, I have a video on anything that you could possibly want to know about as it relates to hair. So all you have to do is type in my name at the top of the search on the YouTube, Lisa Akbari, and that's Lisa Akbari. And then once you do that, then you type in thinning strand, shrunken fro, heat damage, anything, and then all the videos that I've done on those particular topics, you'll be able to get. Okay, let's see. I did Lisa Akbari YouTube. Okay, let's do lisaakbari.com, and that's my website. And that's LisaAkbari.com. There you go. So now you have my website. If you want to email me, you can email me, Lisa@lisaakbari.com. And that's LisaAkbari.com. And that's my email address. So if you want to email me, you can do so. All right, guys, it's so wonderful talking and chatting with you. I'm going to also put a link because I'm going to be interviewed by one of our talk show hosts here in our city, and her name is Bev Johnson. So I'm going to, let me give you a link for that. So I'm going to put her on, Bev Johnson. And you know, guys know I have to talk to you as I'm doing it because if I have any Bev Johnson, WDIA, and I'm going to give you a link so you can tune in live because you can look at her show. She's with iHeartRadio. I'm here in the iHeartRadio studios doing my show, but I'm also going to give you her link so that you can tune in live to Bev Johnson. It's a radio show, and you'll be able to hear her with her link. Okie dokies. Okay, let's see. Excuse me, guys. Like I said, I'm just getting over whatever this thingy thing is. iHeartRadio and Bev Johnson. And I'm going to enter. There we go. All right, so that's what will be happening in the next few minutes. And her shows are always archived as well. This show will be archived. Guys, I'm going to be better next week. I'm just a little slow because, again, I almost didn't come on the air because plain Jane today, and I'm barely with a voice. I feel like I'm whispering to you guys. But let's kind of close it out with this strand thinning. So you know that you need to establish whether you're thinning on a strand level or you're thinning on a scalp level. That means the hairs per square inch are actually decreasing in numbers, and you have less hair on the scalp. In other words, you're balding. Once you establish what's actually happening there, then you can determine what you need to do. Now, when we talk about things, and let's kind of look at some of the things they say, get a checkup. Yeah, they said it's rare, but sometimes a fine thinning hair can be caused from a medical condition. You want to take a look at your medication. If you know that you have hairs per square inch decreasing in number, you want to look at your medication and see medication. You know that little packet that comes with our medication and we throw it in the garbage? You can read that, or you can type in your medication, Google it, and then excuse me, I almost went the whole show with coughing. you can Google it and then look at some of the side effects of that medication and then see if that medication causes hair thinning. What if it says it causes hair thinning, then what you do is you speak with your doctor and you say, listen, I know that I need this type of medication, but is there anything that's similar to this medication solving the same problems that I may have that is going to may not have the side effect of hair loss? Ask your doctor. And then the second thing is, if you are moving into this kind of menopausal time, and even if it's not, sometimes even in your early 20s, you can have what's called androgenetic alopecia, and that's what your follicle, maybe this may be genetically linked, and the follicle may be genetically programmed to start malfunctioning within your 20s. But it's things that you can do something in common around pause. You got about 50% of some kind of hair loss doing that after the age of 50. So it gets a little tricky there, but the main thing is you want to have a hormonal workup. So my recommendation, you buy in your gynecologist, or you could actually go to an endocrinologist. I say endocrinologist because you really not only do the hormonal workup, but other types of workups that may be, they have autoimmune diseases, so they could help with all types. But that would be one thing. If you're losing hair, it's balding, little fuzzy type hairs at your scalp. Now, highly I recommend that you partner with a dermatologist, a trichologist. You partner with them first so they can give you these the okay in doing this, because they're going to show you whether we've got some malfunctioning follicles, because those hairs that are growing will begin to change, and you will have hairs that are not characteristics to your own hair, natural texture, natural color, natural size, natural length, hairs or transition hairs. So they will help you to be sure that you need to go forward. What we can talk about on this, we're out of time, but I want to go ahead and say we're going to talk about this again. Okay? All right, guys. So if you started your chat just now, then I'm going to have to pick it up next time, next week, because I want you to tune in to the Bev Johnson show, because I'm going to walk right down the hall and I'm going to be on her show. Bev Johnson, there's your link. Guys, I'm going to put it up there once again so you'll have it. And make sure you tune in. I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. Thank you so much. And the 4 of you who are just always there, and the other 20, 40 of you who did tune in today, in and out. But I know I have some staples here. You guys, I just love you. I will see you next week right here on Ask the Hair Doctor. Have a wonderful, blessed morning, evening, or afternoon. Don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Facebook, Twitter is another one. My YouTube page. Guys, I'm going to be better next week. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.